When you hear a show tune from the great white way, does a shiver run through ya? Well, we're giving them to ya. Sing hallelujah and shout hooray. Come on along and listen to Broadway to Main Street. USA.
Just picture a penthouse way up in the sky, with hinges on chimneys for stars to go by.
A sweet slice of heaven for just you and I, when we're all alone.
From all of society we'll stay aloof and live in propriety there on the roof.
Two heavenly hermits we will be in truth when we're all alone.
We'll use life's mad pattern as we view old Manhattan. Then we can thank our lucky stars that we're living as we are.
In our little penthouse we'll always contrive to keep love and romance forever alive.
In view of the Hudson just over the drive, when we're alone.
Just picture a penthouse way up in the sky.
Honey, I can't see it.
With hinges on chimneys for stars to go by.
That's on a bun.
A sweet slice of heaven for just you and I.
You mean you and me?
Oh, well, anyway, we'll be alone.
Check. From all of society, we'll stay aloof and live in propriety there on the roof. Two heavenly hermits, we will be in truth when we're alone.
We'll use life's mad pattern as we view old Manhattan.
Then we can thank our lucky stars that we're living as we are.
In our little penthouse we'll be quite a pair, just billing and cooing so high in the air.
And darling, for free we can see the world's fair
when we're all alone.
To be able to view life's mad pattern from a penthouse in Manhattan. Hello, this is Larry Maslon, your host for Broadway to Main Street, here on 88.3 WLIW-FM, Long Island's only signature, one-of-a-kind, inimitable, idiosyncratic NPR station. And that lovely, charming duet was Bob Hope and Shirley Ross, who introduced Thanks for the Memory, I guess, in the big broadcast of 1938. And this was a follow-up song that kind of appeared sort of on the B-side of an album of a 78. On the other side was a Frank Lesser Burton Lane song from a movie called Some Like It Hot. Not that Some Like It Hot, a completely different. It's so complicated. Anyway, a very charming song, isn't it? And that is sort of the tone of today's show, which I'm calling While the City Sleeps. This trope of songs about the sounds of all sorts of cities, mostly Manhattan, of course, but the liveliness of what goes on in the bustling, rustling taxi cabs and a little bit of the lonely melancholy that one can also discover in the heart of a giant metropolis. Well, let us begin at the beginning, one of the most famous songs ever about a city. This is from another Bob Hope movie. Who knew? But you get two Bob Hopes. What's so bad about that? This is Bob Hope and Jimmy Durante singing a duet of a classic city song from the film Bo James, in which Bob Hope plays Mayor Jimmy Walker. So a little, I guess, a movie set in the 50s, about the 1920s, with a song written at the turn of the century. How about that? Only on Broadway to Main Street.
one town in this world I never intend to leave. I think that's a song cue.
I'm with you all the way.
East side, west side, all around the town. The kids play ring-a-rosy. London Bridge is falling down. Boys and girls together, me and Mamie O'Rourke.
Let's turn the lights down, huh?
Tripped the light fantastic on the sidewalks of New York. East side. Rehearsed, tripped the light fantastic on the sidewalks of New York.
Well, what are you waiting for? We need all the help we can get.
East side, west side, all around the town. The tots sang ring-a-rosy. London Bridge is falling down. Boys and girls together, me and Mamie O'Rourke. Tripped the light fantastic on the sidewalks of New York.
Well, one of the great city songs about the rustling, bustling metropolis has to be the 1925 Rodgers and Hart song Manhattan, recorded by a kabillion people, but rarely as the duet for which it was written, or the way it was written originally for the Garrick 80s of 1925. Here's one of my favorite recordings of it from a very rare Ed Sullivan show. Peggy Lee and Steve Lawrence creating An Isle of Joy.
Summer journeys to Niagara and to other places aggravate all our cares. We'll save our fares.
I've a cozy little flat in what is known as Old Manhattan. We'll settle down right here in town.
We'll have Manhattan, the Bronx and Staten Island too.
It's lovely going through the zoo.
It's very fancy on old Delancey Street, you know.
The subway charms us so
When balmy breezes blow to and fro. And tell me what street compares with my street in July.
sweet push carts gently gliding by.
The great big city's a wondrous toy, just made for a girl and boy. We'll turn Manhattan into an Isle of Joy. We'll go to Greenwich, where modern minutes to be free.
And Bowling Green you will see with me.
As black as onyx, we find the Bronx Park Express.
Our Flatbush flat, I guess, will be a great success.
More or less, I'd like to take a sail on Jamaica Bay with you.
And fair Canarसी's lakes we will view. The city's glamour can never spoil
When the noisy town lets its windows down, little slaves are free at night. Then we'll soon retreat from the busy street till the crowds are out of sight. There's a rendezvous for lovers where we two can play. Very near your door in the city's core, but it seems a million miles away. Meet me underneath that little tree in the park. No one else around but you and me in the dark. Just 5 minutes from your doorstep, I'll wait for your step to come along, and the city's roar becomes a song. While I'm waiting, I discover more in your charms. Suddenly I turn around and you're in my arms. And if there's a moon above you, I'll carve I love you upon the barn, underneath a little tree inside the park.
Oh, well, of course, that was Sarah Vaughan. You know, Barbra Streisand they always say, you know, her voice is like butter. Sarah Vaughan, her voice is like creme fraiche, I would say. What a creamy rendition of another Rodgers and Hart song from 1927's Peggy Ann, but another idea about where people can find themselves at the heart of a large metropolis. A little bit of loneliness has to be added to that mixture, and who did it better than Cole Porter, a song he wrote for 1936's Red Hot and Blue expressly for Ethel Merman. This is one of the few songs she originated that she got to sing at the time the show opened. So here is Ethel Merman, Down in the Depths by Cole Porter.
Manhattan, I'm up a tree. the desk on the 90th floor, while the crowds at El Morocco punish the parquet, and at 21 the couples clamor for more. I'm deserted and depressed in my regal eagle nest down in the nest on the 90th floor. When the only one you wanted was another, what's the use of swanking cash in the bank galore? Why, even the janitor's wife has a perfectly good love life, and here am I, facing tomorrow, alone with my sorrow, down in the depths of the 90th floor.
Punishing the parquet. What a great lyric. That's, in the people who are dancing at the nightclub El Morocco on its shiny parquet floor, a lot further down than the 90th floor. Golden Boy, score by Strauss and Adams, as longtime listeners know, was one of my favorite shows, written in 1963 with a jazz score for Sammy Davis. We're not going to hear Sammy Davis, though. We're going to hear two great songs about urban life and alienation and engagement, two very different ways. Here is, of all people, to sing the opening song from Golden Boy, Marvin Gaye, live at the Copa, and he certainly manages to excavate every bit of urban angst out of this wonderful song.
Summer, not a bit of breeze. Neon signs are shining through the tired trees. Lovers walking to and fro. Everyone has someone and a place to go. Listen, hear the cars go past. They don't even see me flying by so fast. Lovers walking to and fro. Everyone has someone and a place to go. Ah, where do you go when you feel that your brain is on fire? Ah, where do you go when you don't even know what it is you desire? Listen, laughter's everywhere. Ah, here, life is in town awaits. Sounds of children calling, and the squeal of brakes. Oh, music, but a lonely song. When you can't help wondering, where do I belong? Music, but a lonely song. When you can't help wondering, where do I belong?
The city sleeps, while the streets are clear. There's a life that's happening here. While the tourist dreams in his Statler bed, here we're living those dreams instead. The clan has gathered, put a stand, gets record on. Send the judge for pizza when the last anchovy's gone. Then it's done. While the city sleeps, when the air is still, life can bring you that secret thrill. While the city sleeps, while the city sleeps, while the city sleeps, when it's after 4, conversation means so much more. When the Scarsdale Square all have said their prayers, we receive what they're praying for. Well, the juice is flowing, here the native drums begin, bossa nova going. Hey, your lordship, where you been? Staggering. While the city sleeps, when the air is still, life can bring you that secret thrill. While the city sleeps, while the city sleeps, while the city sleeps, while the city sleeps.
That was the jazz and nightclub genius Billy Daniels from the original cast album of Golden Boy. He's quite a recording artist himself, and he plays the character of Eddie Satin, a Harlem gangster who knows what goes on while the city sleeps, which is the title of our show today. This is Larry Maslon, your host for Broadway to Main Street here on 88.3 WLIW-FM. It's a good moment to recognize our sponsors, people who help support us, the Ira and Leonore Gershwin Philanthropic Fund. Well, let us turn to one of Ira Gershwin's collaborators, Kurt Weill. This is his score with Langston Hughes to Street Scene. And Street Scene is a great 1927 play about a facade of a tenement and all the crazy people who live in each floor and the romances and the murder and the this and the that. Here is the musical version. Again, a beautiful tone poem, as it were, on the idea of being in the middle of 8 million people and still feeling terribly alone. Here is Abby Lincoln to sing Lonely House.
At night when everything is quiet, the old house seems to breathe a sigh. Sometimes I hear a neighbor snoring. Sometimes I hear a baby cry. Sometimes I hear a staircase creaking. Sometimes a distant telephone. Then the quiet settles down again. The house and I are all alone. Lonely house, lonely me. Funny, with so many neighbors, how lonely it can be. Can be so lonely with all these folks around. I guess there must be something I don't comprehend. Sparrows have companions, even stray dogs find a friend. The night for me is not romantic. Unhook the stars and take them down. I'm lonely in this lonely house, in this lonely town.
There are moments that the words don't reach. There is suffering too terrible to name. You hold your child as tight as you can and push away the unimaginable. The moments when you're in so deep, it feels easier to just swim down. The Hamiltons move uptown and learn to live with the unimaginable.
I spend hours in the garden. I walk alone to the store, and it's quiet uptown. I never liked the quiet before. I take the children to church on Sunday, a sign of the cross at the door, and I pray. That never used to happen before.
If you see him in the street, walking by himself, talking to himself, have pity.
Philip, you would like it uptown. It's quiet uptown.
He is working through the unimaginable.
His hair is gone gray. He passes every day. They say he walks the length of the city.
You knock me out, I fall apart.
Can you imagine?
Look at where we are. Look at where we started. I know I don't deserve you, Eliza, but hear me out, that would be enough. If I could spare his life, if I could trade his life for mine, he'd be standing here right now, and you would smile, and that would be enough. I don't pretend to know the challenges we're facing. I know there's no replacing what we've lost, and you need time. But I'm not afraid. I know who I married. Just let me stay here by your side. That would be enough.
If you see him in the street, walking by her side, talking by her side, have pity.
Eliza, do you like it uptown? It's quiet uptown.
He is trying to do the unimaginable. See them walking in the park long after dark, taking in the sights of the city.
Look around, Eliza.
They are trying to do the unimaginable. There are moments that the words don't reach. There's a grace too powerful to name. We push away what we can never understand. We push away the unimaginable. They are standing in the garden, Alexander by Eliza's side. She takes his hand. It's quiet uptown.
Forgiveness. Can you imagine? Forgiveness. Can you imagine? If you see him in the street, walking by her side, talking by her side, have pity. They are going through the unimaginable.
You will, of course, recognize the score to Hamilton, uptown, up near what is now actually Hamilton Grange. And even that far uptown, there can be loneliness when there is loss and sadness within a family. Alexander Hamilton's, of course. Well, here are two slightly more contemporary city songs. We haven't really lost that idea of the metropolis being a sort of crazy, jangling place where people try to connect. Here is a song from the score to Sweet Smell of Success, a song by Marvin Hamlish and Craig Cornelia. That show really didn't quite capture that amazing kind of zeitgeist that the Clifford Odets, Burt Lancaster, Tony Curtis film created in 1958. But here is Sylvia McNair trying her hand at it. I think any 10 seconds of Elmer Bernstein's soundtrack to that movie captures a little more of that. But here is the crown jewel of this particular score from The Sweet Smell of Success.
I cannot hear the city. I cannot hear a sound. The roar and rush become a hush whenever you're around. The world beyond the window, the fury and the fuss grow distant now and fade somehow with us. And here inside this world you've let me see, it's simpler than we often let it be. I'll keep you safe and also set you free. I offer you you. I offer you me. I cannot hear the city. I know it must be there. The raging town is waiting down the stair. We'll make it vanish in the thin, thin air. I'll keep you safe and also set you free. I offer you you. I offer you me. I cannot hear the city. I know it must be there. The raging town is waiting down the stair. We'll make it vanish in the thin, thin
I don't want to stand on the stage with a sword. I went to a pantomime once. I was bored. I'm not a poetical sort of a person like you. When I need a poem, the streets roads and the gutters will do. There's Tommy Flanagan who lights the gas lamps, 190 lamps in Phoenix Park alone. He's done it drunk for over 57 years in Dublin. And down on Henry Street is Mad John Maher, old rambling Johnny with the face like hammered meat. But Johnny singing brings a Dublin man to tears. I don't know the words to tell you how it feels, or how to put it in a rhyme, but if you come with me you'll know how the lamps in the park look like God in the dark as they glow on the streets of Dublin. The dealers hawking and the dockers yelling, the buskers banging and the ragmen ringing bells, and there's Maureen whose door is always open for old Dublin. And Tony Kiley with his racing pigeons, it's like religion how he lives to fly those birds. He swears they travel for 100 miles or more. I don't know the kind of words that you might say, but I can put it my own way. And if you come with me you'll know that those birds on the wing are a beautiful thing as they blow through the streets of Dublin. And there's music like nothing you've heard if you know the right jukebox to play. There are glasses to raise in the praise of surviving the day. Down where Miss Kitty Farrelly is pouring whiskey, and Frankie Donahue is lighting her cigar. A smoky den where working men don't bring the wine. It's the laughter of fellas with stories to tell, men who love to get drunk and raise truth back in hell. You'll come out with me and you'll see what you're missing in life. On the streets of Dublin, 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 on the streets of Dublin.
Stephen Pasquale, a great favorite here at Broadway to Main Street, capturing a much more robust and active and cantankerous city. Dublin, of course. That was from the original cast album of A Man of No Importance. Well, we're coming to the end of our While the City Sleeps show. We're looking at how the city itself produces its own kind of symphony, its own kind of rhapsody. No one summed that up better, of course, than Gershwin when he wrote Rhapsody in Blue in 1924. But people have kind of taken that idea and made a little more lyrical hay out of it. Here is a song from a show I like very much called Songbook, which was all parodies of great pop songs from Broadway and Tin Pan Alley in Hollywood of the first half of the 20th century. And it was a London show, which never made it here, but closed in one night. Let's not get into that. Let's accentuate the positive. This is called East River Rhapsody, and boy, do they capture, well, you'll hear the song they capture in a moment, but for now, let's enjoy East River Rhapsody from Songbook.
The hooting of a tugboat, the honking of a horn, the sweetest music wakes me every morn. The clanging of a trash can in the early morning dawn, how lovely that cacophonous clash can be. That's my East River Rhapsody. Mrs. Cassidy.
Top of the morning.
Would you be after cooking Irish stew?
I got a great stew for you, Joey.
Can you do my laundry? Quickly, Mr. Woo. Wanna wear a clean shirt Saturday for Sue. A bungee on a rocker, baby, for a dime a shine of my shoe.
How's your mama? How's your papa? What's in the world I'm doing to you?
No music takes me higher than the music of the Lower East Side. The siren of a squad car that comes and goes along.
A dimly heard Salvation Army song.
A baby who's a shower and the schoolyard going strong. The wind will take my melody out to sea. That's my East River rhapsody.
Music takes me
My East River
song, I think, is just such a gem of parody. Well, they say, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. Let us listen to the song that's based on. I couldn't play the original first because it's too monolithic. It is from a movie called The Big Store, and it was Marx Brothers movie, and the song itself was introduced by Tony Martin. And whenever the song comes on, people who love the Marx Brothers just like mass exit to go get popcorn and jujubes in the lobby. But here is Sammy Davis Jr., who rescued this number and sang it as a cornerstone of his act in the London Palladium. He sang it again on the Hollywood Palace in 1967. And boy, does it cover all the robust, multifarious, multicultural sounds of the city. So take it away, Mr. Sammy Davis Jr. with the Tenement Symphony.
Schubert wrote a symphony. It's too bad he didn't finish it. Then Gershwin took a chord in G and proceeded to diminish it. I wanted a variation on a theme that I thought pretty, and I found my inspiration in the heart of New York City. The Cones and the Kellys, the Campbells and Vermicellis all form a part of my tenement symphony. The Cones pianola, the Kellys and their Victrola all warm the heart of my tenement symphony. The Campbells come tumbling down the stairs. Dulia, Dulia, Dulia. Oh, Marie, way, Marie, you'll be late for your date with Izzy. And from this confusion I dreamed up a grand illusion. It's my tenement symphony in 4 flats. The kid on the first floor keeps practicing the minuet. And the kid on the second floor is yelling for that dinner that he didn't get. And the guy on the third floor is wakened from his slumber by the guy on the fourth floor who's practicing the rumba. Tenement symphony. The cry of a vendor met a lullaby sweet and tender. I combined them in my tenement symphony. The yelling of children will greet your ears. Dulia, dulia, dulia. Holy G, gotta stop, there's a cop. Hey, Jiggy. And from this confusion I dreamed up a grand illusion. It's my tenement symphony.
Well, where is the time all gone to? This is Larry Maslon here at Broadway to Main Street. Let's catch up next Sunday at 3.